Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
You could be driving
smooth handling and smart interior styling. Just two reasons why the all-new Honda CR-V was once again named a Car and Driver's 10 Best Trucks and SUV list. Come see your new CR-V today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hi gang, Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hello and welcome as we start another edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. We start today's show talking about real life. And those of you that have had the misfortune of dealing with a family member in the throes of Alzheimer's or dementia. I have been there and done that in this regard. My late father, God bless him, was showing signs of dementia just prior to his passing. Funny story, I'll never forget. After a surgery late in life, I go to the hospital the following morning to see my father, check on him, so on and so forth. And I asked him, Dad, how'd you sleep last night? And my father told me, pretty good. I said, well, what's the matter? Are you in pain? He said, no, them damn Germans kept me up all night. And I have yet to figure out whether that was the remnants of the anesthesia from the surgery, or if it was dementia setting in and he was flashing back to his days in World War II as a member of the U.S. Army fighting the Nazis. Not so very long ago, a dear family member who's now since passed got her car keys, making a quick trip to the store. That afternoon, we get a call from law enforcement in Jackson, Mississippi. Lieutenant Ali will forever have a soft spot in my heart. He was on duty at a local hospital and noticed this dear family member just driving aimlessly through the parking lot. So eventually he figured out something's not right here, went and started a conversation with this dear family member, only to find out that she's 3 hours away from home with no clue how to get there. I bring this up because we now have a commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world, that if you've been keeping up at all with what's going on, you know, God bless him, Joe Biden is not all there, y'all. It is getting progressively worse. You probably remember a show not long ago we talked about where our president, bless his heart, is giving an address and clear out of the blue says, God save the Queen, man. Now, as an American who understands what this country is about and where we came from, I have no love for the Queen, the crown, or the monarchy. We fought a war against the most powerful military on the planet because we did not subscribe to the theory that one person could wave their hand and decree something and we must abide by it. I have no love at all. I don't wish them any ill will, but I could care less than you know what about the Queen, the monarchy, or the crown, because that's, in the vernacular of the streets, that's not how we roll here. But this week, making an address at the White House, our president said the following, quote, "One of the things I'm always asked is why Americans have sort of lost faith for a while in being able to do big things. If you could do anything at all, Joe, what would you do?" I said, I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can. That's why. And we can. Then it came out. Quote, "We have ended cancer as we know it." Last year, according to the American Cancer Society, 609,370 Americans died from cancer. I don't know if this was actually written on the teleprompter or if, as he is prone to do these days, if he simply veered off script and decided to insert something that was blatantly untrue. But can you imagine what the outcry from the media and those on the left would be if Donald Trump had said, "We've ended cancer as we know it," when 609,000+ Americans died last year from cancer? Maybe this is why the White House announced last week that the re-election campaign for Joe Biden will be held from his home. They know Joe Biden's mental and physical health is not such that you can expect this guy on any day to go to the campaign headquarters, go out on the campaign trail, because God only knows, God save the Queen, man. We've ended cancer as we know it. God only knows what he's going to say. And I have no concrete proof whatsoever. But you cannot make me believe that the Democrats did not know ahead of time that this is what Joe Biden's mental state is. If you, like me, have dealt with someone close to you in the throes of Alzheimer's or dementia, you know it's a gradual decline. You start seeing signs. It typically does not just happen overnight. Now, we were led to believe and told incessantly, beginning with the day before and the day after the last presidential election, the adults are back in charge. Any of you watching right now that have dealt with a family member dealing with Alzheimer's or dementia, as an adult, you know there are certain things you no longer allow this person to do. You don't let them drive anymore. You take away the keys and you hide them somewhere. Because if you don't, they will end up in the car 3 states away with no idea where they are, who they are, or how to get home. You put locks on the cabinets in the kitchen because they will go into the kitchen to scramble an egg and end up burning the entire house down. As an adult, there are certain things you have to do to protect that person from themselves and to protect others from that person. God bless them, and in their hearts, they're still good people. But if you've ever dealt with someone dealing with dementia and or Alzheimer's, you know what has to be done. And yet, this week, Nancy Pelosi, when questioned about why so many people in all the polls now have no faith at all on this administration and where our country's headed, Nancy Pelosi said the following, quote, "The president has done such a remarkable job. He is a person of such knowledge, such vision for the country, such knowledge of the issues, such strategic thinking. Of course, the problem is he just needs to get out more." Well, that's a bit of a conundrum, because the more he gets out, the more people realize, hey, did he just say what I think he said? But the adults are back in charge. Again, at the risk of being redundant, there is no way the Democrats did not know that his mental and or physical capabilities had diminished to this point. I can only hope, after pulling the biggest con job on you, the American public, of course they figured out all we have to do is bombard them with enough orange man bad, Trump racist, racist, orange man bad, the racist that he is. If they pound that in your head enough, then 81 million of you, wink, wink, will then vote for whoever they put out there. Even a guy that's in the throes of dementia. We have ended cancer as we know it. I hope you remember this the next time you go to vote. First break of today's show. When we come back, you can't make this stuff up. That's next when we continue this edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
You could be driving a Honda.
Improved from the front grille to the tailgate and equipped to take you on the adventure of a lifetime, the ride is just different in this new Pilot seat. Come see the all-new 2023 Honda Pilot, now on sale at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Welcome back to this edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, age and the ability to acquire it, aside from being a blessing from God, because the Word tells us 70, and if by reason of health and strength, 80. For those of you that are not Bible connoisseurs, we can expect 70 years if God blesses us with good health and strength, 80 or more. The older I get, the more appreciation I have for the wisdom of my parents. My parents made it a point early in life to teach all of their children. The first step in solving a problem is acknowledging that there is one. If you have wronged someone, the first thing you have to do is have a come to Jesus with yourself. And once you realize you have harmed an individual, a group of people, whomever, then the next step is to offer a sincere apology for what you've done. Forgiveness is not possible without first acknowledging that you have committed a wrong and then apologizing for that and making a commitment that in the future this will not happen again. I always operated under the obvious mistaken assumption that everyone was taught this, particularly businesses and major corporations. Well, why would you think that, Clarence? Well, they're in the business of making money, and if you insult your customers, wrong your customers, unless you have one hell of a product, it is totally unrealistic to expect those customers to decide to spend money with you again. Common sense, right? Yeah, I know, gets me in trouble every time. So in the wake of the whole Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney controversy, boycott now still going strong, Anheuser-Busch, InBev, Bud Light, announcing this week that they have laid off hundreds of workers in this country, saying that the layoffs of hundreds of employees will end up amounting to nearly 2% of the 18,000 Americans that they employ. Brendan Whitworth, the chief executive, said the following: "While we never take these decisions lightly, we want to ensure that our organization continues to be set for future long-term success. These corporate structure changes will enable our teams to focus on what we do best, brewing great beer for everyone." I have never, y'all, claimed to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. And y'all know me. You know I'm not a betting man. Never have been. Father was a hell of a poker player. But he never allowed any of his children to do anything that could lead to an addiction like gambling. Never did. To this day, I have people that laugh at me because I can't play cards. All the games that we play in the black community, spades, tunk, bid whisk, I couldn't begin to tell you how to play these games. And it all stems from childhood. My dad, on payday, would cash his check, come home, put it in my mother's hands, every cent of it. She, in turn, would give him $10. That was for poker night with the fellows. Never once can I remember my father coming home after poker night and he did not put that $10 back in my mother's hand. And he would attempt to give her more. She said, "No, you earned that." So, thinking about this whole Anheuser-Busch deal and listening to what the chief executive officer said, did you hear an apology in there anywhere? You know what is so very painful to watch? Because like most boomers and members of the greatest generation, I grew up watching the Clydesdales. There was some sort of subliminal pride that you would get when you'd see the Clydesdales pulling the wagon with the Dalmatian sitting up top and the American flags on it. Budweiser was Americana. It was a part of who we are and what we're all about. So for them to pull this stunt with Dylan Mulvaney and apparently have not thought fit yet to apologize to the core base of their consumers says a whole lot to me. All of this could have very easily been avoided. Oh, sorry, y'all, we made a mistake. We're going to do better in the future. We understand who our customers are. We take pride in brewing a great beer for our customers. We understand your pain, and we are taking steps to rectify that. Have yet to hear anything like that. And so the boycott continues and the layoffs have started. And you know, Americans are a funny breed. When word gets out just how effective this boycott is being, and layoffs are proof of it, you can expect America to double down even more. It is just so disheartening to watch when a simple apology and promise to do better would have fixed all this. Meanwhile, you can't. There was a gentleman out here cutting the grass at Old School the other day that's a big fan of the show. And he walks up to him, he sticks his hand out and shakes his hand. Marty, what is your buddy's name that cuts the grass here at Old School? Ivy. Yeah. Ivy says, boy, I bet you don't have any problem finding stuff to talk about nowadays, do you? I said, nope, not at all. So right after this announcement comes from the CEO of Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney, who sparked this whole thing, announces that he is going to be, and yes, I said he is going to be conducting a speaking tour, charging up to $40,000 per appearance at colleges across America, and would love to come to your school for $40,000. But get this, to show you how convoluted all of this stuff has become, Dylan Mulvaney, who wants 40 grand to come and speak at your university, will talk on subjects that include, wait for it, female empowerment. You're right. I just heard somebody in the audience go, huh. Female empowerment. You know, my late father, once again, every passing day, I have a greater appreciation for his wisdom. One of his favorite sayings, when he would hear someone or his son say something really stupid, Sarge would say, you know, son, it is often better to be thought a fool and keep your mouth shut than it is to open it and remove all doubt. $40,000 a pop. And he is going to talk about female empowerment. Now, at the end of the day, y'all, we don't have anybody to blame but ourselves for this kind of foolishness, because we did not collectively, as Americans, with common sense, we didn't shut this crap down the minute it started. Had we done that then, we probably would not find ourselves where we find ourselves. In addition to that, we fell asleep at the wheel, y'all. We allowed these people, the Dylan Mulvaneys of the world, we allowed them to infiltrate our political system, our education system, all across the board. And now we find ourselves wondering what in God's name is happening to our country. You know, when you have a nation of 330 plus million people, It's understandable that you're going to have different points of view. You have to, especially living in a freedom-loving society like the USA. But at the end of the day, there's another adage that comes to mind. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Now you know how we have arrived at a point where they want to teach your children in school that even though he's born your son, well, he can be your daughter. And we're wondering how all this happened. I am not one of those generally that engages in generalities. But in this case, I'm comfortable in saying, you want to know how we got here? Look in the mirror, particularly if you didn't stand up when it first started. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. When we come back, Louisiana News / boy, it sure is a different day. We'll talk about that when we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Come see the all-new Mazda CX-90, now on sale at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to this edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, growing up and the first 10, 15 years of my career in broadcasting, being in radio that played music as opposed to talk radio, I have a particular affinity for music. I didn't say rap. I said music. I get in arguments with people all the time when I tell them there's no such thing as rap music. What do you mean? They play it on the radio. I said, okay, do you hear melody and harmony? Well, no. Do you hear orchestration, instrumentation? Oh, no. It's not music. It's rap. There's no such thing as rap music. It's either or. It's either rap or it's music. But I digress. Understanding this, there's a song that really stuck with me the very first time I heard it. There's a line in the song, and I'm sure boomers, you've heard it, that says, everything must change. Nothing remains the same. It's an old blues song. And for whatever reason, the first time I heard that song, it stuck with me. And of course, since then, I've watched all sorts of things that I thought were cast in stone in this country change. So I get it. It's a different day. People do things differently. From Clarence, when your old self was a young kid, we do things differently now. I get it. But every now and then something happens that makes me go, well, yeah, it truly is a different day. Did y'all see this story? A missing 12-year-old girl from Cleveland, Ohio. Had been missing for a while. And last week, her family gets a post on social media saying, I'm okay, I'm with my boyfriend. Didn't say where, just said, I'm okay, I'm with my boyfriend. Now, first of all, 12 years old and a boyfriend? But that's a different show for a different day. Well, this week, the United States Marshals and local law enforcement found the 12-year-old here in Baton Rouge. How in God's name does a 12-year-old get from Cleveland, Ohio to Baton Rouge, Louisiana? And then I had to think, what would it have been like if I disappeared from Sergeant First Class Edward Claude Buggs Sr.'s home, sent him a message, didn't talk to him, but sent him a message saying, I'm okay, Dad. I'm with my girlfriend at 12 years of age. And then they get a call from law enforcement saying, yeah, this is U.S. Marshals. We found your daughter. Oh, my God, thank God. Where is she? In Baton Rouge. I get it, y'all. I understand it's a different day. But when all is said and done, different does not necessarily equate to better. 12 years old, y'all. In other news, crime being what crime has become, particularly here in Baton Rouge, it is long past time that if you have not already done so, you make it a point to take measures to protect yourself. In that vein, the BRPD announcing that they are offering classes on self-defense for women. Speaking of how things used to be, there was a time when I was a kid, some things women didn't have to worry about. Having a gun pulled on them, knife pulled on them, beating them up, stealing from the elderly. There were some things you just wouldn't do. As a matter of fact, I had an old saying. See if I can remember how this goes. horse thieves, cattle rustlers, women killers, and what was the other one, Marty? Horse thieves, cattle rustlers, women killers, and back shooters. In the Wild West, your trial was the next morning. If convicted, sentence carried out, hung by the neck until dead at sunrise the next day. There were certain things they didn't play with. But nowadays, thanks to America's racists, defund the police, etc., 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 Black Lives Matter, now all of a sudden, crime is exploding everywhere. Ladies, I am embarrassed to say there was a time when men were men that folks wouldn't dare even think about, much less do some of the stuff being done to women these days. I apologize on behalf of real men for us allowing this to happen. But what it says is you have to look out for yourself. Pure and simple. Marty, did you adjust on this segment? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that sincerely. You may have heard earlier in the show, it sounded like, man, it sounded like Clarence got some people in there with him today. Well, you'd be right. Number of folks took us up on the offer of Lee Serio getting you in a comfortable setting to talk about something that's not really all that comfortable for a lot of people. Your final arrangements and end-of-life decisions. Listen, y'all, for somebody who's buried both his parents, one a military veteran, the other the wife thereof, it was a little bit easier, but still, the hoops that you have to jump through because of all the rules and the regulations, why not do yourself a favor? Get with Lee and his connections with over 2,000 funeral homes all across this country to give your family the peace of mind of knowing whenever my time comes, this is already taken care of. There are a lot of things in life that you cannot put a dollar figure on. This is one of them. And on top of that, like I said, I understand it's not comfortable for a lot of people. But Lee and his darling wife Gretchen, they are so easy to talk to. They truly are. And today, all the folks that came out to say, I'm going to see if Clarence is telling me the truth, if this guy is easy to talk to or not. All those folks that came out, they'll see that I'm telling you the truth. And Lee decided, you know what? Maybe we didn't give everybody enough advance notice for this one. So, we decided today, Thursday, August 31st, last Thursday next month, we're going to do it again. Come on out. Lunch is on Lee. He'll pick up the tab. So not only are we going to feed you like good South Louisiana folk do, not only will we afford you a relaxed setting, but you'll also, free of charge, get to all your questions answered by someone who knows the ins and the outs. You can thank me later. When you get home and the missus looks at you with that twinkle in your eye because once again, she thinks you're special because you went and did what you should have done a long time ago and given her and the children the peace of mind that they deserve. If you're not here today, I'm not going to hold it against you. Thursday, August 31st, last Thursday in August, 11 o'clock, come watch the live taping of the show. Lee will pick up the tab for your meal, and then you get to ask any question you want and get the answers. We'll look forward to seeing you Thursday, August 31st, here at Old School Barbecue. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close. things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. As the rhetoric all across the country continues to inundate us with, we got to save the planet. Electric vehicles are being touted as the #1 way to save the planet. Now, if you are considering buying one of these, far be it from me to ever tell you what to do with your hard-earned money. That's what you want to do with it, have at it. But please know that everything they're telling you about EVs, remember me saying there's such a thing as lying by commission and lying by omission. Lying by commission means I tell you a lie right to your face, knowing it's a lie. Lying by omission means I very conveniently leave out certain things. Although I know them, I leave them out in an effort to get you to do what I want you to do.
So you work for the government?
Yes, I work for the government, and I'm here to help. So right now in the North Sea, off the Dutch coast, there is a container ship that is burning out of control. They are trying to stop this puppy from sinking. It's one of these car transport ships. Close to 3,000 cars are on this massive ship. 350 some odd Mercedes-Benz cars included in this almost 3,000. Somebody made the mistake of putting an electric car on this ship, and it exploded. Now, if you know anything about EVs and the fires that erupt from their batteries, you probably already know putting them puppies out ain't just like talking about it. I'm sorry, English teachers, I did not give y'all the heads up. Putting that fire out is just not like you put out a regular fire. Professional firefighters tell us the average gasoline car, internal combustion engine, takes about 500 gallons of water to extinguish it. An electric vehicle, an EV, when it catches fire, professional firefighters say you're going to need at least 5,000 gallons of water to put it out. Meanwhile, in New York City, they announced this week that electric bikes, motorcycles that are electric, have become all the rage. But there's a little bit of a problem. Actually, it's more than a little problem, but I digress. In New York City alone, so far this year, just so far, over 100 electric bikes have exploded and caught fire. 13 people have died as a result. But we're going to save the planet. Oh, and did I mention automakers came out last week and informed us that we already told y'all when it gets really, really cold outside, you can expect to lose about 1/3 of your mileage because batteries don't function well in the cold. Well, this week, it was what I call a, well, you see what had happened moment was, they also informed us that electric vehicles in hot weather, like we're having right now, you can expect to lose about 1/3 of your driving range when it's hot. So let me get this straight. You're telling me that in order to save the planet, I need to drive this kind of car. Never mind the fact that there's nowhere near the infrastructure, charging stations, to comfortably charge your vehicle. Never mind the fact that when it gets hot or when it gets cold, you can expect to lose about 1/3 of the driving range. Never mind that if this sucker catches on fire, God bless you trying to put it out. Then there's also the fact that the typical EV is about 2.5 times the weight of a gasoline-powered car. So you know what that means, right? The roads that you pay for with your tax dollars, they're going to get torn up real quick. All the parking garages that we've constructed over the years that have a weight limit on them, you can't just take these 2.5 times the weight of a regular internal combustion engine and stick them all up in a parking garage? If so, make darn sure you're not on the bottom floor. How many times do I have to tell y'all? This is not about saving the planet. This is all about control. What you can drive, what you cannot drive. Where you can live, where you cannot live. What you can eat, what you cannot eat. Go down the list. It's not about saving the planet, y'all. Have you ever thought about this? If you're considering an electric vehicle, I beseech you, do your homework. Look up the damage done to the planet trying to mine all the rare earth elements that are needed to produce an electric vehicle. They'll tell you you're saving the planet. No, you're not. You're polluting the planet more than you ever have. Why? Well, where do you think all these rare earth minerals come from? But they figured out a long time ago, y'all. All we have to do is get a catchy slogan. Save the planet. And everybody gets on board. Never mind the fact that it's going to be 2 to 3 times what you would normally pay for a car. Never mind the fact that if it's hot or cold outside, you can't drive as far. Never mind that there aren't adequate charging stations. Never mind that even if there were enough charging stations, where's all this extra electricity going to come from? I guess Joe Biden will walk out in the backyard of the White House, go to the electric tree, and pick off some leaves for electricity to charge your car. Do your homework, folks. I am assuming you worked entirely too hard for your money to give it away on foolishness like this. Just saying. Speaking of which, my time's up and I gotta go. But you already know the drill. This day, probably more than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're 100% correct. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. You know the good Lord loves you. You know I do too. You also know there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.